All right, let's try this again. So over this weekend, and I'm talking about February the 3rd or so, the whole Brad Schoenfeld volume drama renewed itself. What basically happened, someone made me aware of a podcast with Mike Isratel and Dr. Scott Stevenson, where, among other topics, Mike was, I guess, critical of my criticisms of Brad's original study. Now, I didn't listen to it because I've heard them all before and I don't really care. It's the same tired, nitpicky crap that's suddenly putting me on trial for something Brad did. Now, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he had brilliant new analyses, but I doubt it. And it's kind of not the point. I went into the comments section and I made the following point, right? Because remember, Brad's study said that suggested that 30 sets for upper body and 45 for lower were optimal, gave the most growth. Now, you would think that if people are defending that paper, and they did, that they would be incorporating those results because they're evidence-based and blend science and whatever. And I said, well, let's look at the aftermath. Eric Helms, in both mass and his strength pyramid second edition, recommends 10 to 20 sets per week per body part for optimal hypertrophy, which is the same conclusion I came to in my analysis of the extant literature. Now, I'm not a math guy, but 10 to 20 is not 30 to 45. Mike Isratel, after being involved with a study on the topic by Han, H-A-U-N, not Juan, found that above 20 sets per week, the growth was water retention. And to his credit, he altered his training recommendations from the ridiculous level they were at before. And I don't like the guy, but I'll give him props for having more intellectual honesty than most people in this field. James Krieger, the anecdotal evidence-based hypocrite, was crowing somewhere about how his specialization programs, 20 sets per week per body part. And I asked him, well, why not 45, James, on Instagram? And he blocked me because integrity. Apparently he's also done an analysis with maybe Mike, I want to say Greg Nuckols, indicating that 8 to 10 sets per week, or per workout rather, is the cap for maximal growth stimulus. And now again, I'm no math guy, but 8 to 10 is not 15 and it can't be both. Either 8 to 10 sets give you the most growth response, or Brad's 15 sets works better. And I'm sure James has in detail explained this contradiction between the bullshit he defended last year and his new finding. Oh, wait, I bet he didn't. But I think you should ask him, because James is always very good at giving clear, concise responses to such questions. And that's sarcasm if you can't hear it in my voice. So I wrote that. I said, okay, this is what's happened, so what's the problem? Why bother criticizing a paper you guys don't even believe the results of? Or criticizing me for criticizing it? Why defend something even you don't think is right? Fast forward a few minutes or whatever, and a guy named Pascal, who runs the RevFit, I guess, shared this with Mike and did it with kind of this drama queen. Lyle would like to see you in the principal's office, and tagged in everybody, Brad, James, Eric, Nuckols, who wrote endless pages of text to say nothing, as he always does, and Mike. And I saw a screenshot where Mike said, well, Lyle has to be blocked, which is true, years ago, I don't even remember why, but I challenged him to a debate over volume. And then a sentence or two later and said, and I'll be happy to tell him what I think about him to his face. Well, number one, I would question if saying it on Skype is to my face, but hey, Mike, whatever, it's all you, buddy. But more importantly, that's a really aggressive way to try to get someone to debate you, and I genuinely wonder why he didn't just challenge me to a fucking fight. It wouldn't be the first time it's happened in this field with me or to other people. Like, if you're just going to be posture that much on your wall, just challenge me to fucking fight you. Not that that'll prove anything either. So I blocked him and I PN'd him, and I basically just ran through. I go, Mike, everybody is agreeing with me, and we're agreeing. What is there to debate? And he wrote me back and he said, well, I don't disagree with that, but I still think we should debate it. And again, it's like, what debate? Right? Now, maybe he doesn't know what the word debate means. It means when two people have an opposing opinion and you argue facts at one another until you call each other morons. Maybe he meant discussion. Maybe one of y'all should buy the man a dictionary, because that's not what debate is. So it's just like, what debate? Because here's how this would go, right? Hey guys, how's it going? Good. Lyle, what do you think? Mike, I don't like you. Lyle, I don't like you, and I think you're an asshole. Me, I am an asshole, Mike. Thank you for noticing. I think you're an idiot. You've never been right about anything, and except this one thing, because you're agreeing with me. So of course you're right. And okay, training volume. Mike, I think it's about 10 to 20 sets per body part per week. Lyle, hey, me too. I guess we're BFFs now. Are we done? Because I want to go play PlayStation now. And I would hang up and go play PlayStation. Because there's no point in two guys sitting there for an hour jerking off, agreeing with one another, right? Jerking each other off verbally. So I thought about some more, and I PM'd back, and I said the same thing. I said, I don't care. This is pointless. There's no debate. What do you want? This is just a waste of time. I said, you know what, Mike? You can have this one. Go back on your wall and crow about how your big badass self made the great Lyle McDonald punk out, and I'm a pussy, and I'm a coward, and I'm a chicken shit because I won't spend an hour agreeing with you when there's no debate. You can have this one, buddy. Because at the end of the day, I don't give enough of a damn about his opinion or his people on his wall's opinion of me one way or the other. We agree with one another. There's no debate, and you can't punk out of... He's not calling me on something we disagree about. It's not a debate. I'm not punking out. I have better things to do. Then I thought about some more, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to go a different route. Because fundamentally, from the get-go, I got put on trial for Brad's missteps, right? Brad's paper was a shit show. And for daring to ask those questions, somehow I was in the wrong, right? Now, this is not different than anything I've ever done in my career. Brad was happy to share my paper critiques to his wall with Lyle with so good detailed analysis. Brad was happy to ask me to do Q&As for his class, to be on peer review for PCOS paper. And I guess he liked me until his head was on the chopping block. And then suddenly, I'm persona non grata. Suddenly, he is above answering questions because I was mean to him. And he punked out like a guru and blocked me. You know who else did that? Lane Norton during Metabolic Damage. He said, I made his wife cry. Well, I'm wondering if Lane made her cry more when he left his wife and his child or children to move to Australia for that bikini chick. But I digress. Because apparently you can only be critical of people outside of this little circle jerk seminar circuit. And by that I mean Brad, James, Eric, Greg, Mike. And I'll come back to that. But anyway, so I said, Mike, I shouldn't be the one on trial here. We're in agreement. So rather than coming at me, and I know why he comes at me. I'm an easy target. Nobody likes me. More importantly, well, I'll come back to that. I said, get Brad on the podcast. You and Pascal get Brad on the podcast. You ask him the same hard questions that you think, everybody thinks I have to answer these questions, but Brad doesn't have to answer shit. It's a lovely double standard. I'm used to it, and I can always step up to it. If you challenge me on a claim, I'll give you all the research you want within about 2 minutes. Brad doesn't have to answer it. It's cute, isn't it? I said, you get him on a podcast. You ask him the hard questions. You grill him. You make him answer these. I'll give you the questions that need to be addressed. And if you do that, I'll go on a podcast with you. And here are my questions. Number 1, Brad, why do you think it's okay to do the ultrasound unblinded? According to Cochrane standards, the highest standards, this raises not blinding raises a high risk of bias. 1A, Brad, why do you think that saying you can trust me is an explanation? You are not above scientific laws. You are not above the scientific method. And even I, who is, according to you and James, doesn't even science, even I know that. It's pitiful. Number 2, the statistics did not support the conclusion. Brian Butcher did a great analysis. It's on Reddit. Go find it. The p-values showed no difference between moderate and high volumes, and James Krieger's BF10 values were all below 3. And according to all standard statistical textbooks, Rafferty, Jeffries, Wagenmakers, and I'm sure others, BF10 less than 3 is described as weak, meaningless, anecdotal, not even worth a mention. Weak statistics cannot support a strong conclusion. Number 3, why did you lie about the Ostrowski data? This is the one nobody has yet even attempted. Well, James tried to address it, but it was just a misrepresentation. It doesn't matter. It's still wrong. And by representing it that way, by only representing the highest and lowest volumes rather than the moderate volume, which showed a cap in growth, Brad changed the conclusion of that paper from disagreeing and contradicting him to agreeing with him. And that's a lie. Nobody has addressed this yet. Number 4, Brad, when you see a paper you don't like, you write a letter to the editor, you demand answers, and if they don't, they are in the wrong. Why are you not held to the same standards? Why do you hold yourself to the same standards? I just asked you to answer questions about your paper, and you were too much of a guru to do it. Why are you held to different standards? And I said, Mike, you ask him that. You get answers, and I'll be happy to sit on a podcast with you for 60 to 90 minutes, do whatever you want. We can call each other 80 flavors of dipshit for an hour, which would at least maybe be interesting. Or we can sit there and go, 10 to 20 sets a week. Yup. Which would be truly compelling. Or maybe we can shock it up and debate that versus 11 to 21 sets per week or something. But that was my promise to him, and that's why I'm putting this up here. This is proof. I am promising Mike that if he does this, I will go on a podcast with him and waste an hour of my life that could be better spent watching Pornhub. I don't think I'll have to do it, because let's face it, he won't do it, and even if he would, Brad wouldn't go on such podcasts, right? Brad is above the law. On which note, I don't know how Brad trains. I bet it's not 45 sets a week, because how does he have time? He's too busy getting his name on one paper a week, teaching a class load, doing seminars all over the world, and you know it takes him a lot of time to buy those sweet, sweet baseball caps. Like I said, I shouldn't be the one on trial here, right? They made it about me for daring to criticize Brad, and I know why. One, I'm easy to hate, and I've been the most hated man in this industry since the 90s, and I'm cool with that. Two, I'm an easy target because nobody likes me. And I'm cool with that too, because I'm not here to be liked. I'm here to do what I've always done, which is be critical of bullshit, and Brad published bullshit. I don't care. The other reason none of these people will criticize Brad is they got to keep getting that sweet, sweet seminar money. It's $5,000 a weekend to go give the same tedious presentation and to get to travel. Of course they can't criticize him. He's got too much power now. So they just got to kiss his ring. And I don't mean the ring on his finger, guys. So that's why they come at me instead of him. But like I said, this is my promise to Mike. Apply the same standard where you expect answers to Brad as you do to me. And I'll go on your podcast. And we can sit around and accomplish nothing. And I'm putting it up here so there's proof. It's in his PM, Pascal's PM, my Facebook group, and now it's on YouTube and my website. Right? Because a man doesn't welch on a bet, and a man doesn't go back on a promise. This is my promise to him. But I'm not going to waste an hour of my life to debate him and agree. And I'm also putting this up so that when he goes to his wall and crows about how I'm such a fucking coward and punked out, everybody will see. Because like I said, hopefully he'll explain that it's because there's no point to it. This is my Pretaliation, my response to him, assuming he hasn't already done it. It's my chance to say my side of it. And he can say his, and that's great. Because at the end of the day, if I took the time to care about every single person or address it, every person that has beef with me, I wouldn't get anything done. And I'm getting little enough done as it is. So I can't care about this. I can't care about doing an hour debate when there's no debate. There's nothing nothing comes out of this other than 10 to 20 sets per week. There's nothing else to be said. Maybe legs need a little more volume, nuance about overlap, but who fucking cares? I've written it all out before. So, and like I said, started all this, they all agree with me. I was right from the get-go. They don't think Brad's paper is worth a shit, or they'd incorporate it. And I think that's really why all these people right now, in general, why there's still so much whining and bitching and moaning and wailing and gnashing of teeth over my criticisms of Brad's study. One, they have to posture to him to stay on the seminar circuit. But two, what they're really mad about this whole thing and about so many other things, the real reason they're still being bitching at me about this, is the one thing that bugs them the most about me. I was right all along.